While the hosts of Sisters in Arms have taken every precaution to ensure that the content of this program is both current and accurate, errors can occur. The hosts assume no responsibility or liability for any errors or omission in the content of this program.
The information contained in this program is provided on an as-is basis with no guarantee of completeness or accuracy. The opinions of the guests are not necessarily the same as the hosts.
Welcome to Sisters in Arms. I'm Kerrie and Auclair.
And I'm Renee Gagne, and together we serve as a Second Amendment resource for the communities of Massachusetts.
Awesome.
Happy New Year again.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
This is episode 6.
I know. We're
Yeah.
flying along.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Did you get your goals accomplished for 2022?
I did.
I know. This is pretty good.
Yeah.
We've had some really incredible feedback
I know.
about the show.
We did.
And it's on Facebook. It's on YouTube now.
We had a couple bloopers we posted on Facebook.
Yeah.
Someone from the Bullet made a comment about that. I saw your blooper. Looks like you girls are having a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
So what about your goals?
My goals for 2022, I was hoping to be a sharpshooter,
Oh, wow.
but I set my sights too high.
Ba-dum-boom. I love it. Oh, God.
Don't quit your day job.
Oh, my God. Yeah, don't quit your day job. No. All right, so last episode we talked about how to get your license to carry, how to get your FID card. And today, new year, new you. So you got your license, now what do, right?
Hopefully you joined a range that has a lot of educational opportunities for you.
Set your goals on getting more firearm education. And
Yep.
a lot of people say, well, okay, I already took a class. What other classes are there? So we're going
Right.
to talk about that. So-
Right. A lot of people think you take that one class and you're good to go.
Right.
But really, that would be like, let's equate that to driving a vehicle, right? You get in the car one time, you take a road lesson with an instructor one time. That does not make you, efficient enough.
Or safe.
For the rest of your life.
Or safe.
Just that one
Right,
lesson.
because you're getting behind a wheel, and really, technically, that car could become a weapon. So, and you don't want it to be, right? You don't want to accidentally make it into something that was dangerous and potentially
Right.
kill yourself or someone else.
Right.
So, if you have to be safe.
Right.
So-
And we're going to actually talk about that
know.
because the two main causes of gun accidents are ignorance and carelessness. So ignorance is just having a lack of knowledge, and carelessness is actually having the knowledge and not applying it. So now that you have your license to carry, you joined a range, we have several different organizations we'd like to show you. Maybe you don't know that they exist, so we're hoping that we can shed some light on them. The first one we have is GOAL. We talk about GOAL a lot. You can check them out at goal.org.
Yep. And it stands for Gun Owners Action League.
And if you watched our last episode, we had a nice video on GOAL and what they do for the communities of the Commonwealth. The next one we have is the DC Project.
I love this picture.
Me too.
That was such a great day.
That was us down in DC in front of the Supreme Court. We had 133 meetings in 4 days with our congressmen and women, so
And
that
that's-
was really awesome.
And that's most of our other state directors for each other state, all the other states. So, awesome.
dcproject.info if you'd like more information for that. Next we have com2a.org, and they work closely with Gun Owners Action League to work on state issues, Massachusetts. And next we have Armed Women of America. Kerrie and I are both leaders of the Massachusetts chapter here.
Bristol County.
These are our ladies.
That was a fun day, too.
armedwomen.org
Yeah.
if you want more information for that. And then we have the NRA.org that takes care of issues at a federal level, NRA.org. And then we have uscca.deltadefense.com. We have that at the bottom of the page screen there.
Yep. And I think that's good to know all these different websites too, because there's a lot of resources on there. So, and a lot of free, educational
Yeah.
type of programs that they provide, and you can kind of get an idea of what is what, how to protect your Second Amendment. I think that's important too, because some people don't realize without that, you don't have this,
Right, right. Yep, so joining these groups, you'll just find additional information, and just networking with like-minded women.
Yeah.
We find pretty helpful too.
Oh, it's definitely helpful.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. All right, so we're going to go into different courses that you can take, because there's so many different courses out there. So, here's a couple courses. You can take a course about shooting fundamentals. So shooting fundamentals, what is that, right? So it's how to grip your gun, so how to grip your gun correctly, how to stand correctly, so stance, sight picture, sight alignment, how to shoot a target, breath control. You wouldn't believe that breath control has anything to do with it, but it totally does. It's part of to zone in on your skills. And trigger control, so how to press that trigger. And we do have a all Women's Day event that we did. So it was a Women's Day on the Range event. It was a fundraiser for the DC Project. I love that. Look at how many girls were there.
That was fun. Most of the people there had never shot a gun until that day.
Yeah, and they were so excited.
I know, and they did awesome too.
And they ended up taking our class to get their license to carry soon after. So that was really, really cool. You can, so it depends. So I think we mentioned this in episode 5, that the certificate that you get after you go to a course, a certified course for that certificate, according to the law, it doesn't expire. So I'm not sure if we mentioned that.
Oh, we didn't.
No,
we didn't. We actually didn't. So it's basically a truly one and done.
Yep.
You take the class and it's.
But some police stations don't. They require a current or updated certificate. But legally, by law, by statute, it's
a
one and done. So with that said, you've taken a home firearm safety course, perhaps, or even a basics of pistol course, perhaps, to get your certificate for you to apply for your license to carry.
You just described the basics of pistols.
Yep.
Right. The basic of pistol course, which is
the fundamentals.
LTC 002. So if anyone's looking to take that course, that's an NRA course, and you can hop right on the NRA website, and that is the basic of pistols.
Yep. And there's a shooting component to it. And it's actually a qualifying shooting component.
Right, because the home firearm safety course, which is the other approved course that you can take before you get your license to carry, that one is not a live fire course. Some instructors offer it at the end, they'll let you shoot, but it's not part of the curriculum.
And that is all about unloading and how to be safe with your firearm. The home firearm safety course.
Yep.
So you can take that again too, and some people do. We've had a couple people come back and just take that course again because they just wanted to get a little, recap of what they just did maybe 2 years ago. But there's so many different courses. But I think the main thing too that you really, really need to hone in on is make sure that you understand the NRA safety rules. So the safety rules is so important. So we have the safety rules. We're going to pop those up on the screen. So always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. Very important. Always, always keep your finger off the trigger until ready to shoot. Always, always keep your gun unloaded until ready to use. And know your target and what's beyond. So those little tiny words down below, read them, because there's a lot of other safety rules that you should follow. This card, take a picture of this screen, print it out, put it in your range bag. Know these rules always, right? Very, very important.
Talking about these rules, the Department of Public Health for Massachusetts published some statistics. 2018, there was 1 accidental gun death. 2019, 1 accidental gun death. 2020, 1 accidental gun death. So if you go back to those rules, if we could just pop those rules up again, Kim, take a peek at those. You would actually have to break every single rule to hurt yourself. So, we're looking at these stats going, there's 6-7 million people in Massachusetts, and over 500,000 are gun owners. 1 person killed themselves. How could that have been prevented? It goes back to carelessness. right? And ignorance. We don't know, actually. The stats don't track whether the accident was, who was involved in that accident.
Right.
Was it a lawful gun owner or was it a criminal? We don't
Right.
know.
Was it, accidental discharge, or was it somebody accidentally getting your firearm because it wasn't properly locked up?
Yeah.
So all those things we don't know. Along with gun violence too, right? I mean, gun violence is not very accurate either. So, because if let's say a police officer happened to use their firearm, it's marked off as gun violence.
Right. Suicides are also marked off as gun
Right.
violence. So a lot of different
The stats
aspects
are not necessarily.
They go into
right.
that category of gun violence.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And it puts such a negative connotation to our community because they hear gun violence, and really, truly, it's not accurate. The stats
Right.
are not
Right.
accurate, or not as truthful as they should be. So I think it's just the word gun violence.
It's a misconception.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Yep.
The
Absolutely.
numbers may be right, but it's a misconception of what gun violence means. Because when I think of gun violence, I think of criminals, gangs, murders.
Yeah.
I don't think of police officers defending themselves,
Right. Or a
protecting
responsible
others.
gun owner if that
Right.
had to use it because they
Right.
were in fear for their lives.
Right, there was an intruder in someone's home and they used their firearm to protect themselves. That is now a statistic of gun violence. I never, before I started diving into this, I never realized that gun violence was all encompassing.
It should be gun protection.
Right,
It should be
or
another-
suicide.
Right.
You know,
It should be. They should break it down more so people like the media, the public can understand
what
really,
actually it is. Right.
So
for
we
sure.
have some more classes that we can definitely take. So defensive training. Know how to protect yourself and your loved ones. It's so important, and especially if you're going to be using your firearm for personal protection or home protection. So have a personal protection plan in place. This class or these classes, the defensive classes, go over kind of stuff like this. Understand what to do in a critical dynamic situation. So critical dynamic situation means that you had to use your firearm. Or maybe you even pulled it out, and just pulling it out maybe saved your life, right? So what to do okay, so let me back up. Reasonable force and deadly force. What does that mean? In every state that could mean something different. What to do in a critical dynamic situation. So understanding your situational awareness, how to avoid the situation altogether. Just because you have a gun on your hip doesn't mean that you can be like a tough guy and walk down that dark alley by yourself. There's a lot of things you can do to prevent a situation altogether. How to learn to draw from your holster, how to train defensive shooting. So, again, USCCA has a lot of different courses that are available for that particular defensive training. So definitely check it out, 'cause I think that's really important that you train for what you got your firearm for.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of what you got your firearm for, right? So we got an awesome picture of John Green hunting. So there are many different reasons to get your firearm. One of them is hunting. I love that picture. Look at the smile on his face. He's so happy. And the other one is recreational purposes. So you just want to go and have some fun. And we have a great picture of our girls having fun on Valentine's Day. And Renee made these awesome targets. You put a lot of time in that, by the way. Yep. And then we have competition. So we have an awesome picture of Diane Muller. Diana Muller, she's the founder of the DC Project. And that is awesome. So she's a I can't even say it.
Competitive.
Thank you. Competitive shooter. Good Lord. And then personal protection. Don't you love this picture?
I love that picture. So that is one of our Armed Women of America members. And we had them all make a sign of why they own their firearm. And they all wrote down what their reason was. And we chose this one.
Yep.
It's amazing. I love it.
Yep,
I love
she was
it
so proud.
much. She is so
She
proud.
was
And
so
she's
proud.
awesome.
Yeah, we have a lot of different age groups that have joined our chapter, so it's fun to see them grow
Yeah.
as responsible gun owners,
Yeah.
and that's kind of why we're talking about this today. And the other one is our constitutional right. So it's our right to keep and bear arms. I love this. So a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I absolutely love that. And it gives me goosebumps every time I read it. And then collection. So we have, look at that. Look at that relic. Don't you love it?
I know, I love it.
Yep.
We actually have a friend who, he doesn't shoot anymore. He's close to 80 years old. He has the most amazing collection.
Remember we went over his house? We're like,
oh my gosh. It was crazy. It was crazy. He loves old guns.
Yep. Hold it out. It's like, be careful.
Yeah, so some people don't even shoot. They
Wipe
collect
it down
them.
after, put it back. I love it. Yep.
And then if we're talking about courses, there's all kinds of different courses you can take. There's firearm safety courses for children. And we discussed before, there is no actual age set in stone when your child can be taught, right? That's up to each and individual parent, what they feel that their child's cognitive level is at, and if they're able to to understand what they're being taught.
I think it kind of gives you, because there's my daughter with the Appleseed program, but going back to kids' safety and stuff, I really think that, like you said, it's an individual decision on the parent.
Right.
But in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, of course, if that child understands the word no, don't touch that, stove's hot, don't touch that, that's sharp, then in my opinion, that's a good time to at least explain to them those safety rules that we brought up.
Right.
Because I think, they go over what to do in a situation if there was a fire. So, and they do that at a young age.
Yeah. They go over fire drills, they go over active shooter drills.
Yep.
In schools.
Right. So, I mean,
definitely.
They do that at preschool level if it's in a big school. You know what I mean? So I just have a different opinion on that.
We're thinking about that 6-year-old that brought the gun to school and shot the teacher.
Right.
Right? Like, you may not have guns at home and you don't think that it's important to teach your kids, but when they go out into the world, the minute they leave you, they get on the bus, they get in a car, they go to little Jimmy's house for a play date.
You don't know what
You don't know what they're going to get into, so don't touch.
Right.
Run away, tell an adult.
Right.
That's what
and
we
then
teach
teach them the safety rules of. I just think it's that, and we'll go on to another story to the reasons why I'm so passionate about that. But you made a good point about storage. Not every state has a storage law, but it's your responsibility as a gun owner to secure that firearm so no one can get that firearm, especially a child, right?
Right.
So that's why it's important to understand the laws of each state that you live in.
And so we have a nice picture of a law class that John Green from Gun Owners Action League came in and taught one of the the Armed Women of America.
I know, I want to say Well-Armed Women still.
We used to be the Well-Armed Women. We are now Armed Women of America. So he came in and he taught a 3.5-hour class. It was awesome. The feedback we got from it was amazing. Yeah. The girls really, really loved that class.
So a 3-hour class. Think about that.
Yeah,
3
and that
hours.
is just the most, I
I would say not the frequently asked questions, but the most
applied law.
Yeah. Or, he goes over everything, though. Yeah. He goes over everything. So it's that, it's this, they even had a nice little 3-page sheet of frequently asked questions that kind of could break down the information for you, or at least you're looking at it going, oh God, I that's not on here. I need to figure that out. I need to go to the website and check it out because I'm confused.
Yeah,
but a lot to it.
Yeah, for sure. There's advocacy classes you can take.
Yep, and I think we have an image of that too. Yep, that's awesome.
There we are again. Did we show this picture already?
Yep, but it kind of shows us.
We just love showing this picture.
We just love this because what are we doing? We're there, advocating.
Right, we're advocating.
Right? So, and the DC Project is a nationwide organization of women that safeguard our Second Amendment, and we work very closely with Goal, and we volunteer our time. Goal actually has a small paid staff that does this on a regular basis, and they do so much work for the amount of people that they have working there. It's just insane.
Yeah.
So,
for sure. And then we have the Refuse to be a Victim class that Kerrie is actually an instructor of. So I'll let you get into that.
Yeah, we got So the refuse to be a victim class, let's just go into that real quick. So I think I mentioned that before, like know your surroundings. And
that's where it starts.
That's
knowing
where it
your
starts,
surroundings.
because you can avoid so much by just knowing your surroundings. So I think you mentioned once before about going to DC and how, you know, you already do this, but it was like more intense. Don't you think you felt that way?
Well, when you start talking about the Cooper's color code, I'll talk about the situation.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So know your surroundings, know the color codes. So we have a great picture of the color codes, the Cooper color codes. I love it. So white, right? Relaxed, unaware.
This is where most people are.
Right, and unprepared.
They have no idea what's going on. They're staring at their phones.
And
they have no idea. People get hit by cars.
Oh my God.
Those people are in the white.
There's people on YouTube that's showing like on the phone, boom.
Yeah.
Whoa, what the heck happened? You know, they weren't paying attention to their surroundings. They were in white. We got yellow. Okay, yellow is really, 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 really where you want to be. You're relaxed, you're alert, your mindset, you're aware of your surroundings. And why are you aware of surroundings? Because you don't want to go to orange and red, right? You want to try to avoid that at all costs. So, you know, and then we got orange. So let's say something happened and you're like, oh boy, what's going on? You're in the grocery store, you hear yelling, you're screaming, there's somebody swearing. Oh, you just went to orange. Now you're heightened of your awareness that something's going on. You need to figure out what the situation is. Can I get out? Where is it, right? And then red, uh-oh, I can't get out. I'm cornered. Now what do I do? Now you got to make a decision on what you need to do. And then they don't show it, but there is another color code, which is black. Now you have to make that decision. Do I use pepper spray? Am I in a gun-free zone, which is another topic we're going to talk about? Or can I pull my firearm? And if so, am I able to do it safely and use the firearm safely? Because maybe there's a bunch of people running around behind that person that's the threat. And now what do you do? So that's where it comes down to defensive training too, because you need to understand all of those things. So know your target and what's beyond.
Right. So that refuse to be a victim class isn't even about firearms.
No.
Right there. So I want everybody to understand that. So this is a class for everyone to take.
Absolutely.
This isn't just a class for people that are gun owners, because it really has nothing to do with guns. It has to do with situational awareness.
And you can pull it up on YouTube and get an understanding of what that means, which is super, super important.
Yep. There's first aid classes you can take, pepper spray classes. We did an episode on pepper spray. Thank you for Safety Academy USA, Mike Palazzi and Corey Darris.
Yeah.
Very nice for them to come all the way here.
And
they did a great class. We have a picture actually.
Oh yeah, this picture's funny. I'll let you explain it.
Yeah. There he is. He even dressed up to look like a perpetrator.
He tried to make me like, oh.
Yeah. He even like walked over to you like he was trying to be a bad guy. It was so funny. It was hard not to laugh. But seriously, did you feel like your heart was racing? Like when even just pretending in this scenario?
It was, and that's why these classes are so important, because there was a lot of things that I didn't even realize. You know, like I had pepper spray. I never really looked at the ingredients of it. So we have a pepper spray class that we did. I think it was episode 4. So definitely check that out if you're interested, because it's really awesome information that they provided. But I think that it really gave us a clear understanding of how important it is to train with pepper spray and everything else. But yes, I even though I knew in my head this was not a real situation, once he started running to me and I'm like, oh my God, and you had to hurry up and use the pepper spray and do exactly what he told you to do, and then run away, call 911 and look for a second person. Second bad guy might be behind me. All of that happening all at once. I was sweating.
And this is stuff that if you don't train for, you're not going to do it when something bad happens, because when something bad happens to you, your brain can't even process it. But if you practice, drill, it's going to be second nature.
Because your adrenaline kicks in.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but I remember, but way before I decided to become a firearm instructor, I remember there was a couple times where I had to call 911 and I'm like, I don't even know how to open my phone.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you're shaking, your mind goes into a muck, right?
Yep.
So training yourself to get out of that.
For sure. And there are classes for that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is.
One-on-one classes with an instructor. Those are great classes to take. We actually have a video of a student of mine last month. It was her first time shooting. Okay, so she took the home firearm safety class. That is a non-shooting class. She got her license to carry. She purchased a firearm. Now she calls me up and she says, I need help. I actually have never shot a gun.
Right.
I don't really know what the first thing to do is because the class I took wasn't one of those classes where I could shoot. So we'll show this video.
Yeah, this is a great video.
And so this video, she, first time shooting, she had 45 minutes of instruction. And I showed her all of the basics, you know, how to stand, how to grip the gun, how to breathe, how to line the sights up, you know, all the, there are
fundamentals.
Six fundamentals. Yep, we went over that. 45 minutes, crash course.
All right.
Went over the safety rules.
Yeah.
And
I think I want to say something after this video, so definitely let's watch this video.
I really want to find this video.
Yep.
I just got to get everything perfect.
Yep, perfect practice.
How's my hand, okay?
Yep, looks good. I would bring that left hand up more. There you go.
Okay. Push and pull.
And I would lean forward here. There you go. Push and pull. Slowly press that trigger.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh my God, I got a bullseye!
Finger off the trigger.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
Yes. I got a bullseye! I got a bullseye!
She
got a bullseye! She got a bullseye!
The excitement on her face was awesome, but
That is why we do what we do.
right.
So,
and what did she do? She followed the safety rules.
Yeah, she did. So that was a 2-hour instructional one-to-one that I did with her, and she followed all the safety rules. To the untrained eye, it looks kind of scary. It looks like she flung around and, you know, flagged everyone with the muzzle. She absolutely didn't. She kept all of the safety rules intact. She was awesome.
Yep,
It was her
finger off the
first
trigger,
time.
and she
Finger off
kept
the
her
trigger.
muzzle, her firearm pointed downrange in
Yeah.
a safe direction.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. So that's what one-to-one training gets you.
Yep, and we have
Yeah.
a picture of me training my gal, and that's the outdoor range. And look at this is really important. How important was it that she did a one-on-one in the middle of the winter? Look at the snowbank in the back.
Oh yeah, she wasn't a fair weather shooter.
No,
She's like,
so-
listen, it's cold here 6 months out of the year.
Right. We need to do this. So I hope after watching these episodes 5 and 6 that you get a lot of information and you feel a lot more comfortable getting your license to carry or your FID card, and you understand the importance of education. And really, we do this and we volunteer our time. It just gives me goosebumps when I see women like that on the video being so excited to learn how to protect themselves, be their own first responders, and it's just amazing, right?
Yeah,
it's absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. So thank you all for joining. If you have any questions, comments, or you have topics for upcoming shows, Sisters in Arms 2022 at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Happy New Year.
Again, Happy New Year.
New Year, new you.
Stay safe.
And vigilant.